want to make sure.
Thank you for asking.
Now that I am over, I'm like, okay, I think y'all can. All right, Keelan, Dwayne, you guys are staying. Come on.
Alrighty, pencils are down.
No, not today. Not today.
Pencils are down, tracking the board. Alrighty. I have different groups here, and I would like for someone in Logan's group or Logan to talk about what you represented on your paper and why, according to the problem. You can go up, Logan.
So I labeled on the sides because I was showing like how much squares are in each row
And why is that important, Logan?
to find the area of the shape.
And how did you know you had to find the area and not the perimeter?
Because it has squares inside and it's like showing us.
It has squares inside. Okay, so yeah, you're right. You're sticking to the area. What else in that problem is telling us that we have to do the area? Taya?
At the bottom,
What is it? Tell me.
it says which playpen gives the dog the most area to play in.
To Logan, did you use that same information? Okay, so what do you have on your paper, Logan?
Skip counting.
Skip counting. Why?
Because
Dwayne. Why did Logan skip count here, Cameron? Why don't you guys skip count?
we skip counted because we knew that our question was asking us which one has the most area for the dog to play in. So we counted all the squares and skip counted to see which one had the most area.
To see which one had the most area. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What is that measurement? 5 what? Is that our length or our width, Cameron?
Our length.
Our length. So 5,
10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35.
35 apples, cherries.
Yards.
Square
yards. Square yards.
Which one is the final answer? 25 what? Miley?
Square yards.
Square yards. Very good. Area is always squared. This one, why did they skip count by fours? Why did they skip count by fours, Kamori?
Because for the length it has 4 squares in each. So they do like, or they could have did the length down or the length right.
Very good. They're trying to find the area, so Kamori said they could have done the length, skip count by fours. Let's see.
4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32.
What if they wanted to skip count this way? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They would have skip counted by
8, 16, 24, 32.
32. Now let's look at this one. Why did they label it 10 and 20? Jada?
They labeled it 10 and 20 because they were skip counting.
They were skip counting. If I look at these other papers here, I see Taya's group has 18 square centimeters, and I see Jada's group has 9 times 2. Which one do you agree with? 9 9 times 2, which equals 18, or 20 square centimeters? Which one do you agree with and why? Anissa, which one do you agree with?
I agree with Jada because there were only 9 across from there, and then there was only 2 down from there.
Very good. So be careful counting, because when you count and you count the squares incorrectly, you're going to get the wrong area. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Logan, do we have 9 or 10? Cameron?
9.
So this should be 9,
18.
9 and 18. What else could we have done? Very good, you guys. What else could we have done on our papers to be 100% sure? What else could we have done? These are all correct methods. What else could we have done? Mackenzie? So that's 2 different strategies. What was this first strategy Mackenzie said, which is the easiest one? Not the one that's the most efficient, but it's the easiest one. What was the first one she said, Taya?
She said count it like by one by one.
Count one by one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35.
That took us a long time, right? Then Mackenzie gave us a second strategy. What was the second strategy we could have done? On top of all the other ones we just talked about. Shirley? Count the length and the width, which are also known as the dimensions. What are the length and the width also known as?
The dimensions.
So let's go ahead and label your dimensions if you did not do so already. Go ahead and label the dimensions for option 1. Your length should be?
5.
What should it be?
4 yards.
5 yards. Dimensions are not squared. Our length and our width are not squared. I hear some people saying 5 and 4. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Taya, what is it?
5.
And what's our width?
7.
Let's see.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
So the dimensions of option 1 is 5 by 7. What would be the area and how would we figure that out? Dream?
The area would be 35 because we know the area is multiplication, so all we have to do is multiply the length times width.
Very good. So we get 35 what, Dream?
35 yards, square yard.
Very good. 35 square yards. If you did not label option 1, please go ahead and do that now. Alrighty, go ahead and go to option 2. And I want you guys to make sure that you have labeled option 2. So make sure you label your dimensions, which are your length and your
Width.
go. Label your dimensions and calculate your area. You're doing option 2, labeling your dimensions and calculating your area. find your area. 1 times 8 or 8 times 4. You need to get what? 32 what? Right? I want you guys to pick the strategy that's the most efficient for you. If you're labeling your dimensions, do you have to show me how you're skip counting? No, that's just extra work. So do not work more. Work smarter, not harder. Alrighty, I want you guys to go to option 3. Well, actually, before we move on, who can give me the dimensions of option 2? Keelan, go for it.
The dimensions of option 1 and 2. The dimensions of option 2 is 4 yards and 8 yards. Your length is 4 yards,
Thank you.
and your width is 8 yards.
How do we calculate the area, Keelan?
You calculate it and it's 8 times 4.
Very good, and you get?
You get 32 square yards.
Beautiful, 32 squared yards. Alrighty, I would like for you to go ahead and find the dimensions of option 3 and the area. Ready, and go. Alrighty, who can give me the dimensions of option 3, number 14?
The dimensions of option 3 is 9. The length is 9, and the width is
9 what?
9 yards.
And the width is?
2 yards.
And your area is what, Jaden?
And the area is 18 square yards.
Very good, 18 squared yards. Remember, you can write 18 squared yards like this, or you can write 18, abbreviation for squared, and then yards. So what are we trying to find in this problem? What are we trying to find? Cameron?
Which playpen gives the dog the most area to play in?
Very good. Which playpen gives the most area? And I like how Cameron went back into her problem and to answer my question. Alrighty. What do we know? What do we know? Miley, what do we know?
We know that he had 24 yards of fencing.
We know that he had 24 yards of fencing. Is the 24 the total space?
No.
What is the 24? Miley just said it's fencing. What does that mean? What does that mean, Mackenzie?
That means that the fencing, the 24 yards of fencing
Is the perimeter. Very good. 24 yards represents the perimeter. How do you know? How do you know it's the perimeter? Kamori?
Because we know fencing is like the distance around like a shape.
Very good. The distance around a shape. So let's go back to the question. Everyone go to the question, please. Let's read it together. Ready and go.
Which playpen gives the dog the most area to play in? Explain.
So, which playpen gives the dog the most area to play in? How do you know? Taya?
Option 1, because
tracking?
the smallest yards of fencing, and option 1 has 35 square yards.
So Taya said option 1 because all the other ones have the smallest fencing. Raise your hand if you agree with Taya. Raise your hand if you disagree. Anissa, why do you disagree?
I disagree because it said he only had 24 yards, but he didn't have higher than 24 yards.
Yeah, his fencing is 24, right? So Taya, it's not the fencing. This is not the fencing. What is this, Sana? What is 35 square yards? What is 32 square yards? And what is 18 square yards?
It's the flat space inside the shape.
Very good. It's the flat space inside the shape. And in this case, what does the flat space represent? What does a flat space represent, Dream?
The flat space represents the area.
Yeah, what is it though? In this problem, what is it?
It represents the yard or the playpen.
The playpen. So we're technically looking at 3 playpens. So Taya, I'm gonna go back to you. Which playpen gives the dog the most area to play in? You had it right. I just want you to explain it a little better.
Option 1,
Because?
it's option 1
Tracking
because all the other
all the other what?
playpens, they're smaller, and the dog can't probably fit in both of them.
We're guessing. You're getting closer. Taya said option 1 because it's what, Taya?
It's bigger than the rest of them.
How does she know it's bigger than the rest of them? How does she know it's bigger than the rest of them? Rainbow?
She knows that they're big. She knows that they're bigger than the rest of them because in the picture it shows that it's more wider and it has 35 square yards.
Okay, so I like how you went from kind of eyeballing in the picture, it looks a little wider, to instead using the actual measurement, the actual area. So, using our actual area, how can we make Rainbow's answer and Taya's answer the best answer? Jaden?
We know that is option 1 because
Tracking.
our length is 5 and our width is 5, and if we added 4 times 8, that'll give us 32, and if we added
Not added. You're
multiplied 9 times 18, we wouldn't get the most area in
okay.
the most area in.
Okay, Jaden is also pretty warm. I see what he's thinking, but when he's saying it, he's kind of saying it a little in mumbo jumbo. Okay, so let's try one more person. I want you guys to put your hands down, and I want you to look at all 3 areas. We've already decided that the option with the biggest area is which option, DePaul?
Option 1.
Now, why is it option 1? Hands down. Think. Why is it option 1? I want you to turn to your partner and tell your partner why option 1 is the area that's the biggest. Ready? And go.
Option 1 is the biggest because it has option 1
35 squared yards, 32 squared yards, and 18 squared yards. Why is it 35, Cameron?
It is 30.
Why is 35 squared yards the largest area?
35 squared yards is the biggest area because if you do 5 times 2, you get 10, and 7 times 2, you get 14. So you do.
What is she doing, Logan?
Perimeter.
5 plus 7 plus 5 plus 7 is definitely perimeter. We're not doing perimeter. How did we figure out 35 squared yards? Chase?
We figured it out because if we go inside of the shape, we're looking at the flat space, and the flat space is 35. Because we're multiplying all the squares that are inside of the shape.
Chase said we're multiplying all the squares.
We're multiplying the flat space inside of the.
We're not multiplying the flat space inside the shape.
We're multiplying the measurements to get our area.
We're multiplying our measurements to get our area. Very good. And according to the dimensions, option 1 has the largest area. How do we know it's the largest though? We still haven't answered my question. How do we know it's the largest? Logan?
We know it's the largest because it has the biggest area out of all of the others.
How do you know that?
Because I counted and I got the biggest area.
You got the biggest area. How do you know it's the biggest one, Logan?
Because it has the highest number.
It has the highest number. You're comparing your numbers and trying to decide, is any number greater than 35? Yes or no?
Yes.
Is any number greater than 35?
No.
So is there an area that is larger?
No.
Look at it. Which area is larger, Taya? Which area is larger than 35, Taya? So the answer is no. There is no other area that is larger than 35. So your best choice would be
35 square yards.
option 1. Right? Option 1. So I want you guys to go ahead and write on your paper which playpen gives a dog the most area to play in and explain why.